Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. Also known as we're still in the midst of Fisher quests, and it's time to do the Stormblood Fisher quests. So, still ignoring the base of Rumors Beacon, we're here in Limsa with Whither Wallalago Wanders. Arya, just the woman I want to see. It's about the guildmaster. He's been acting a bit, wait for it now, fishy of late. How so, you ask? Well, first of all, he hasn't been seen chasing skirts at the wench for nearly a whole week now. What's more, word has it he's been skulking in and out of the city at the strangest hours, tiptoeing around as if he's afraid of being seen. And not like the man ever does any work around here, but he is the face of the guild. It wouldn't be good for business if he got himself caught up in anything untoward. Next time you're down in Fisherman's Bottom, may happy to pay him a visit and see what's what. Alright, let's pay him a visit and 20 feet away. Well, bash me in the head with a bucket of barnacles if it isn't Arya, the second most skillful fisher in our fair realm. So what do I owe the pleasure of your presence today? Sisyphu's on me, you say? But how could that be? Is it possible I'm not as sly, stealthy, and surreptitious as I thought? Don't answer that. Oh, Wallalago's adult enough to admit it when he's been apprehended in the act. Fact is, I found a new friend who's been picking my brain for advice regarding a particularly puzzling predicament. Truth be told, I was just thinking of tramping over to the God's Grip to meet him. I think he'd also be agog to make your acquaintance as well. If, of course, you wouldn't be averse to accompanying me. Well, I suppose that settles it. Just do your friend Wallalago one favor. Stop by the guild and tell Sisyphu there's no need for concern. And don't mention much more than that. Girl's got enough gnawing at her mind with guild goings on, I reckon. And I don't know why I went quiet there. It's like, 20 feet away. So Wallalago says he's fine, but he can't or won't say any more than that. Forgive me if that doesn't particularly inspire me with confidence. Well, if nothing else, I suppose he'll have you around and make sure he doesn't get into anything over his head. You will keep an eye on him for me, won't you? Of course you will. That is down there. I just need to relay something. I'm not going to it, but I'm gonna relay. There's an Agrippa the Mighty up in More Adona currently. Anyway, as we were going to God's Grip, right here off of Morby. Do it this way. Ah, there's the last I was looking for. Now all we need to do is find Wallalago. What is the meaning of this? Who is this strange shore walker? Get a grip now, Gob. This is Arya, a fast friend and one of the most accomplished anglers in Eorzea. I reckon she'd be just the person to help me puzzle out your little predicament. This is Gob. We went fishing, or rather, I was doing the fishing and he was more accidentally attaching his lower lip to my lure. I can tell what you're thinking. A fisherman and a Sahagin make for bizarre bedfellows, and it's true. We were tearing at each other's throats at first, but once we delved into a discussion of our love for the ocean deep, we became keenly conscious of just how much we have in common. You see, Gob here is searching for a stunningly spectacular specimen of fish, which has distressingly disappeared from the seas of Lonosia. The shooting star of the sea, that's what the Sahagin have termed it in their tongue. Goff says that seeing whole schools of them sail through the sea with their scintillating scarlet scales is a spectacle of blissful beauty. It's a sight all the more precious because of their penchant for only appearing in particular seasons. Goff reckons that they're a roaming species that migrates after mating cease to lay their eggs and nurture their newborns. At least they were, before they just packed up and puttered off to who knows where. Goff here wasn't going to take the matter reclining on his rear. My clutchmates insist that it is simply the way of nature. The fish have simply died out or found a more desirable habitat. This I cannot accept. And so I embarked on the journey. I scoured the far reaches of the realm seas, where the shooting stars once appeared in abundance, and found a single fishing line with an inviting lure at its tip. Next thing I knew, I was reeled in by Master Wallalago here. At first, I was ready to gut him for having stolen such a beautiful creature from us, but he assured me that he had done nothing of the sort. Agonizes me to admit as much, but to tell the truth, I've never even laid my lookers on one of these shooting stars. They're half as handsome inside as Goff says. It'd be a sorry shame if we swallowed the supposition of their demise without doing our due diligence. At the same time, I'm the guildmaster. I can't very well go gallivanting off to every far-flung frontier of the realm while Sisuku does all the dirty work. So I decided to avail myself of the aid of my most astute assistant. That be Arya here. Forgive me if I am skeptical, Master Wallalago. While I know your own knowledge of the seas is second to none, I do not know the shore walker from the scales on my back. Be one good reason why I should trust her. I'm telling you, Arya's as fine a fisher as anyone I've ever had the pleasure of calling my protege. Housed in her head is every piece of pristine lore and learning you can fathom. If anyone can find this fish of yours, it's her. If you would speak so highly of her, then I suppose I have no reason to object. And with that, I will turn to the search. There you have it, Arya. Ready to rove and ramble the seas of the realm in search of the slippery shooting star? I most assuredly am. First, I best make a brief and fleeting foray back to Fisherman's Bottom. Sisyphus like to get suspicious if I sneak away for much longer. Just back to Limsa. Okay. There you are, Arya. We can exhale easy. I'm pleased as punch to say I slipped back in via side street. Sisupu was none the smarter. On the subject of Sisupu, I've been meaning to explain and elucidate just why I'm so worried of telling the girl the truth behind this latest little lark of ours. Don't tell the girl I divulged this to you, but truth be told, her village was set upon by a suitably savage group of Sahagin when she was just a little lass. I'm sure she and Gov would get on great if they got to know each other, but for the time being, I'm disinclined to dredge up any disquieting memories. You understand, yes? And so you'll be dealing with me directly for this particular duty? First, I intend to do a little investigating into what this so-called shooting star is called in the common tongue. In the meantime, I propose that you treat yourself with a soothing spot of fishing. Next special quest will be available from Wallalago upon reaching level 63. Arousing a reunion. Oh, Arya, thank goodness you're here. Gov's gone off again. This time to Gear Abania. I had a rendezvous regarding my research into the disappearance of the schools of Scarlet Fish when a look of realization swept across his scaly face. He dashed away and I could scarcely ask what was the matter before he shouted one word and opened the water's deep. At the Veladina, that is. As you know, the Veladina River rushes rapidly through the ravines of Gear Abania. While I'm not privy to particulars of his epiphany, he appears determined to cross that dangerous divide. The region may have been emancipated from the Empire's controls, but that doesn't mean that people won't brandish their battle arms against a brash beastman from beyond the border. We must track him down before he gets in trouble. Young Gob's got guts, I'll give him that, and it may take more than one angler to reel him in if he gets rowdy. I've contacted our cohorts in Corinthus, and they've consented to send an apt acquaintance to accompany you. We've preemptively planned a powwow at Pike Falls. Now fly, friend, and fetch Gov back before he finds himself in the frying pan. Figurative, or otherwise. Well, if it's an Arya, angler extraordinaire, how fare you these days? Onsal mentioned that you were in need of a deft hand, and as he's tangled up as usual in the struggle for succession, I took it upon myself to accompany you for this little escapade. Ah yes, the Sahagin fellow. We just made each other's acquaintance. I saw a large shadow swimming beneath the surface of the Villadina, and when I cast my line, I found him on the other end of it. Rather surprised to see a beastman so far from home, and what's more, one that took the bait? Primal instincts, I suppose. It would seem he got it in his head that this river is polluted with cerulean runoff. He's been swimming to and fro for the gods know how long trying to find the source. Like as not, he's right about the pollution. There's no shortage of imperial structures in these parts, after all. But I've been trying to tell him I'm all but certain it's entirely unrelated to the disappearance of his beloved shooting stars, for you see, what could have been this will know over the rivers and seas? There is only one shore walker I know with the authorities to speak on such matters, and his name is Wallalago. Stubborn little bugger, isn't he? He won't listen to a word I say. I've tried to explain to him countless times that me and my fellow fishing enthusiasts are every bit Wallalago's equal when it comes to knowledge of the waters, but to no avail. The day that Sahagin heeds the counsel of a shore walker in such matters is the day that the seas dry up. Is that so? Then we'll just have to prove here and now that we're worth our salt. To that end, I propose a contest. As you may know, the deep Villadina carp inhabit these waters. If we can reel in 3 before you can spear the same number, you'll agree that our angling acumen is the equal of your own. Do we have a deal? Well, he certainly took the bait easily enough. Alright, I'm counting on you, Arya. Go catch 3 big ones. You thought I'd be doing the fishing? Perish the thought. Going up against the spearfishing of a Sahagin isn't something I like my chances with. You're far more capable than I. Don't worry though, if I'm right, our friend is likely to resort to the same methods he uses in saltwater fishing, as that's all he knows. But we both know that the appropriate angling techniques differ from river to river and sea to sea. Use this to your advantage and Godspeed. Alright, so this time around, they were like, hey, I need to move where my patience 2 is. We are going to make it so you actually have to fish these up yourself. So anyways, if you're at the correct location for the fish for a quest like this, it'll be like, hey, mark for the quest has been detected. Oh, I don't have that, do I? That is not what I'm looking for. So yeah, like when you cast your line, it'll be like, hey, the mark has been detected, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a quest. Darn it, it's level 65 quest too. Ooh. It's fine. Just a little, spot of fishing. Alright, so there's a deep Villadina carp. You cannot identical catch it. This is kind of lame, actually. I was like, oh, I can just identical catch it and catch another one now. Alright. Time to cut out a bunch of fishing, I guess. I guess I could surface luck with blood stippers. Sure! I'll get you collectible. Why not? Okay. Yeah, 3. Didn't even have the surface slap. Because as soon as I was like, oh, I can surface slap, I didn't keep catching blood snippers. As I expected, Gov is having difficulty adapting to freshwater fishing. Even the water itself seems to be irritating his skin. Still, we must underestimate him. Hurry and catch those carps. Fine work as always. You never cease to amaze with how quickly you assess the swimming patterns of your prey, even in unfamiliar waters. Let's call Gov back and settle this once and for all. Well, would you look at this? Arya cast hooked and reeled in 3 carp before you even set your sights on a single one. How's it feel to lose to a land dweller, Garv? I did not expect fishing in freshwaters to be so arduous. For a shore walker like you to outfish a Sahagin, there are no words to express my shame. Maybe now you've realized that there is some more to what we've been saying. Now, shall we return to the topic of the shooting stars? Capable fisherman you may be, but I've already found my answer. The shooting stars have disappeared because this river has been sullied by the ceruleum spilling out into its waters. And if you would let me finish a sentence for just once, I would tell you this isn't so. Why, your prize fish aren't even native to this river. I'll discover beyond the shadow of a doubt that they hail from further east. You see, I came to these parts for business. As Arya knows, my true profession is to ensure that my client's enemies sleep with the fish. In my spare time, I took a liking to reeling in those fish. Needless to say, I often have occasion to chat with the locals about their favorite fishing spots. So I asked around based upon information relayed to me by Wallalago, pressing anglers from eastern lands on the whereabouts of fish resembling the shooting star's description. I was able to gather that there are indeed massive schools of bright scarlet fish measuring 60 ilms in length swimming in the waters near the Isle of Thavnir in the Near East, and so 60 ilms? Those are no shooting stars. The fish that I clutch so cherished dwarf even you in size, shower walker. Let me finish for once, will you? Furthermore, in East Othard, I found fish of the self-same appearance as those in Thavnir. Red as blood, but this time a mere 20 ilms in length. It all makes sense now. The shooting stars my clutch saw were fully grown. They begin life in the far east as slight hatchlings, gradually growing to gargantuan size as they journey to the west. That's what I've been trying to tell you from the start. If the numbers that bark on the rite of passage have dwindled to all but nothing, it stands to reason that whatever happened in the vicinity of their spawning beds. That said, we still have a lot of ground and water to cover before we can fully ascertain just where their nursery is located. While the fishers of the east have seen fish fitting the description of the shooting stars, they were no more knowledgeable about where those fish originate than we are. Thankfully, I've already managed to establish a good rapport with the anglers in these parts. Would you be so kind as to return to Lanasia and give Master Bolalago a report at length while I ask about in search for further clues? I'll be in touch as soon as I can find a lead to go on. And you there, I do hope you've learned your lesson about underestimating the talents of shore walkers. Try to avoid jumping to conclusions next time we meet, won't you? Oh, as I am to admit, she is right. Forgive me for my arrogance, shore walker. You can assure Master Wallalago that you will have my ear in the future. I thank you for your aid. Ho ho! It sounds like you and this Reina bird are battered and very gobs bravado. I expect nothing less from one of the most promising piscators that Eorzea has to offer. That Reina sounds like quite the lass, and nothing gets the heart beating fast in a bonny bakehouse with a basket of bream, eh? If you say so. Oh, a woman after my own heart. A shame this Reina doesn't frequent these parts more often. I could provide her with pointers on perfecting her fishing posture. Yes, just like so. Don't give me that grimace. Obolago may be beyond his courting years, but like any Lodosian wine, my appeal is only augmented with age. And he wrote, so you say our lovely lady will drop us a line by link pro when she has a lead for us? Superb! I'll practice my powers of passionate persuasion in the meantime. Why don't you hone your casting hand at one of your favorite fishing holes in the meanwhile? I'm gonna just take the silver pieces. I don't feel like trying to deal with selling the armor, as I learned. In testing new waters as a fisher, you have learned Mooch 2. Mooch 2 being... Oh, I also got prize catch. Mooch 2 letting you use average sized fish to mooch instead of just large sized fish.
Alright, so slightly weird order on how I'm recording this, but slight addition to doing all these fishing quests. We are here in Tamamizu, and a new fishing experience. I can click. You smell a fish. Does this mean then that you're a fisher from above? If you enjoy hunting fish up there, then I'm sure you would take pleasure in hunting them down here as well. You cannot use rods and reels underwater though. No, you will need a spear to strike your prey swiftly and silently like the Kojin. I suppose you would call it spear fishing? Would you like a lesson in spear fishing? If you should see any of my blue brothers outside, I'm sure they would be glad to show you how it's done. Where are we going? Oh, all the way over there. Okay, cool. You would hunt fish with a spear? Why, it's as easy as breathing underwater. And considering you're not blue in the face, I can tell you will master the skill in no time at all. First, you will need to search for where fish gather. When you found a suitable school of fish, steady your spear and strike with a quick, fluid thrust. That, in a clamshell, is the art of spearfishing. Of course, these explanations mean nothing if you have no spear to practice here. Take one of mine. If you look around, you're like to find promising prey close by. Farewell, friend, and happy hunting. You are now able to obtain fish via spearfishing. In order to do so, you must first equip a spearfishing gig as your secondary tool. By using the action Fathom, you will be able to locate teeming waters as you explore the ocean. With your spearfishing gig in hand, you can interact with these teeming waters to catch fish. So yeah, when they went and added swimming in Dawn Trail, they, oh gosh, just got so many actions. They added spearfishing for the fishers, which, you know, yay, more actions for me to equip here. We won't talk about how bad my hotbars are. Make room. Great. Okay, that should... That was very much not everything or full action. Fathom and Dark Eye 1 and 2. Alright, cool. So slight irony that you cannot use that well. Oh, can I? What? Oh, because I don't have Fathom on. Haha. Like, what do you mean? Oh, there's literally a spearfishing thing, like, right here. In teeming water. So if you just examine it, spearfishing is a method of procuring fish underwater by using a gig to strike fish as they pass through teeming waters. Now, this has undergone a few redos. Originally, it was just you hit it a bunch of times, like you do with any gathering node, and then they made it this upcoming minigame. Nearby fish will take most of your action in the teeming waters, however. If their wariness grows too high, the fish will disperse, ending your spearfishing attempt. So you get this little minigame, and then you go. Bye! Hold up. That was a perfect strike, too. So yeah, you can just gig them. They have like different sizes and speeds. If they're sparkling like that, it is a large one. And as you can see, I'm suddenly getting a bunch of new little fish. And there's like the awareness gauge, and it is spearfishing is pretty good experience. It is a little bit active, and okay, we're doing a little add-on to this video. Add-on to the add-on. From amazing underwater village founded by the peaceful Kojin of the Blue. Though the Kojin are able to survive for long periods without air, they do not possess gills like the Sahagin. So it was that they developed magics to allow them to create an immense bubble of air within which to dwell. Ahem. Fishing. So yeah, that's a very, very, very basic thing for spearfishing. There's like chains you can do where you catch a certain amount of fish and you get a special thing to appear. And this has rarer fish, and yeah, spearfishing is this whole other world of fishing. Literally, we're underwater. More importantly, it means I can look at this list and go gather it once I go look up where it's at, because they don't make it easy to look up fish from this list. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled fishing quests. Eventually. Yeah, fishing quests.
Search for the spawning grounds. Arya, I have auspicious news! Auspicious indeed for the ravishing, or so I reckon. Reina has ascertained the site of the shooting star's spawning beds. It is just as she thought. After they hatched, the Red Rovers arrived the raging currents of the Ruby Sea that rushed from east to west. So it is that they eventually emerged on this edge of Lunasia. Of course, the moment I mentioned this motive information to Gov, he marched right to the coast saying he had a mission to make for the Ruby Sea. Well, I appreciate his ardor. I do hope he doesn't intend to swim all the way there. After all, it takes schools of shooting stars twice his size quite some time to span the distance, and they have a current to carry them along. Meanwhile, Reina herself did the sensible thing by setting out on a sailing vessel. Ah, how I yearn to travel to exotic locales yonder like you young ones. Any sudden sabbaticals would be strikingly suspicious, especially the ever-skeptical Sisipu. Anyway, Reina sails the seas even now as we speak. You'll want to seek her out in the port town of Kugane. Oh, and do relay to her my most recognizable of regards. A rousing wink of the right eye should suffice. Ho ho. There she be. There you are! Even for a veteran fisherwoman who prides herself on her patience, that felt like an eternity. What took you so long? And again, I suppose we'll be waiting even longer for Gov. I heard that he's taken it upon himself to swim all the way here, although I can't say I'm all that surprised. Anyhow, to business. I was able to determine what the locals call the fish that best matches the description of the Sahagin's shooting stars. Most likely candidate is known as the, Harutsuj? I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Unfortunately, all the fishermen I spoke to insist that they haven't seen them near the shores of late. But don't worry, as I have a plan. If we've exhausted our options on the surface, why not turn to others more in tune with developments in the depths? I speak, of course, of the Kojin, a tribe of aquatic beastmen not unlike our friend Gov, though hopefully more agreeable. If anyone can enlighten us about life under the Ruby Sea, I dare say it's them. Let's say we venture out to their port in Tamamizu and see what they can tell us. So I think this is where the game's trying to be like, by the way, the spearfishing quest is here. I should still have that footage. I hopefully still have that footage. It's been attached somewhere in this video. Either before, at the start, or at the end. Somewhere. Hopefully I didn't accidentally delete it. Ah, talking fish, and a large one at that. What will they think of next? The talking fish is a friend of yours, perchance? What brings him here? And you, for that matter? You come in search of fish with shimmering scarlet scales that spawn in these waters and travel to the western seas? Yes, such fish were once plentiful here, but I fear we have not seen them of late. They have disappeared from the Ruby Sea as well, and we have come all this way for nothing! You are a picky one. Surely you are aware that there are other fish in the sea, and far tastier ones at that. I would be happy to show you how to catch some of our most delightful delicacies. The shooting stars are not for eating, they are for watching. Or have you never taken the time to admire the seas and all their beauty? You are an interesting one indeed. Never thought to appreciate the beauty of my meals. Perhaps there is something to what you say. I will do what I can to help you find these shooting stars of yours, but know that fish you seek grow fewer and fewer in number by the day. Massive schools once seen swimming in droves in the open waters and no more. If any remain, you are like to find them in the waters near Shoal Rock. Truly, the shooting stars still remain! You heard the Turtle Man, my friends. We must swim to this Shoal Rock without delay. Eager as ever, isn't he? While I admire his enthusiasm, I would form a more solid plan of action before we go rushing off. Care me to join me at the Isle of Beko, Arya? As you might have expected, Golub has already plunged himself into the depths. It might be a while before he comes up. Sahagin seemed to forget the passage of time down there. Or where was I? Ah yes, there is one small favor I'd ask of you before we go off in search of this Haratsuj. Remember, our mission is not only to find out whether they still exist, but also to learn the cause of their dwindling numbers and determine whether the damage is reversible. As such, I'd like you to catch me 3 of the immature shooting stars, Haratsuj sprogs, if you will, that inhabit these waters. And do be careful when you unhook them. They need to be in pristine condition for observation. Will you do that for me? In the meantime, I'll hunt down the proper vessel to give our catches enough room to swim around. I'd rather not face God's wrath if they go belly up before he returns. Alright, should just be fishing here, I believe. It'll let me know. It is, in fact, not fishing here because it did not let me know. Near Shoal Rock, which is up there, right? Here? There we go. Mark for the quest detected. Cool. 3 caught. Only caught 2 groupie flabbers for collectibles, and then I may have just been like, okay, I need to surface slap these things. Where's she at again? Somewhere around here? There she is. This is why we bought all the fish before. In discussing the Haratsuge with local fishermen, I was able to learn that they're a type of herring. I suppose they're most recognizable by their striking color. Were you able to find them? Incredible! Why, even at this size, they truly are breathtaking to behold, are they not? Confining them to a bucket feels like a crime. At any rate, let's wait for our finned friend to return. They are far smaller than the ones I remember, but there can be no doubt about it. These are indeed shooting stars. It eases my heart to know they are still swimming. They still swim among us. Arya, Reina, words cannot suffice to express my gratitude. I searched for so long in waters familiar and foreign, all to no avail. Are you here to find them in such a short span of time? It is clear her knowledge of and passion for the sea are without compare. Always have to be of service, and now, Gov, I would take them to a proper expert to have them classified and examined. Worry not. I'll take good care of them. You on my word? You are more than proven yourself. I will leave it in your capable hands. In the meantime, I'll return to that talking turtle and share the knowledge of what we have found. Perhaps he can enlighten us further. I'll exercise the utmost care in delivering the Haratsuge to Anselm and Ishgard. We must ascertain the precise physiology and whether or not they suffer from some sort of illness. In the meantime, I appreciate if you could tell Guildmaster Wallalago we will contact him as soon as our observations turn up fruit. Isn't this exciting, Arya? I can scarcely wait to see where this leads us next. Fantastic, friend! You found the ever-elusive fish. Now begins the tall task of finding a way to ward off their waning numbers and see them flower and flourish once more. Last, though I say we, there's little I can do to lighten the load. Now with Sisyphus watching me so warily, at least. Why, woeful Wallago can't even partake in a proper pint without a protest, much less peel away the whisper our plans on this little link pearl. I suppose there is naught to do but bide my time and mind my own business until Rena regales us with her latest report. Silver pieces, thank you. In testing new waters as a fisher, you have learned a double hook, which I've been, trying to use before, but yeah. Always a bigger fish. Tip-top timing, Arya. Reina's mailed me a missive saying she's wrapped up her research into the shooting stars and is ready to report the results she's reaped. Finally, a clue to help us crack this confounding case. There's no time to tarry. Get yourself to God's grip. I think I'll even steal away from Sisyphus' prying eyes and scoot on over there with you. Ho there, Arya. The ravishing Reyna should be arriving any moment now to regale us with our report. 1,000 pardons, Master Wallago, but I fear there has been a change of plans. My fellow fishing enthusiasts made for Kokane. Am I here to deliver her findings in her stead? Our findings in her stead? Awesome! I'd be busy keeping that barbarous brother of yours from running roughshod over the disconsolate denizens of your demands. Indeed, cannot stay for long, so allow me to share what we found, which I fear is not as much as we had hoped. We studied the sprags Arya caught in hopes of finding some clue as to what afflicts them, but we could not identify nothing out of the ordinary. Was there any sign that aught is amiss in the waters they inhabit? Well, that's a right relief, yet baffling, bewildering all the same. If all is well in the waters of the Ruby Sea, whither could the shooting stars have shuttled off to? The other day I had occasion to speak with an angler acquaintance from Razed Han. As he told it, he's not seen any denizens of the deep matching the Harutsuke's description in his domain either. Which means that whatever it is ails and afflicts them is all but certain to be centered around their spawning ground, striking them when they've scarcely hatched and winnowing their numbers before they can navigate their way westward. A remarkable deduction from one who has scarce left Fisherman's Bottom of late. If I have heard true, if only you could travel to the Ruby Sea and investigate for yourself, there is no telling what you might glean. Would that I could whisk away shit like that, but no, I don't. If I don't pull back to my barrel, and briskly, and Sisyphus comes to know I've been cooperating with the Sahagin, there's no telling how it'll torture and torment the poor girl. I want you to come with me. That means more to me than you can measure, Arya. I'd like nothing more than join you in your journey, and yet... What the log are you stubborn, self-absorbed, slack-witted, stupid head! For all your vaunted knowledge of fish and disease, you couldn't know a goddamn thing about your closest colleague and confidant! Last thing I want to see is you acting all weaselly and wishy-washy! Sisyphus, how in the heavens did you... I followed you, silly! Did you really think you've been evading my eyes and ears all this time? And of all the reasons for your ridiculous behavior, this is truly beyond belief. Yes, my home was raided by the Sahagin when I was a child. This is true, but what sort of ignorant fool do you take me for? I know as well as anyone that there are kindly Sahagin in the realm who care only for protecting their clutch. Why would I begrudge you lending one of them your aid? If you wanted to take a leave of absence, all you needed to do was ask. It's not like you do any work around the guild anyway. Sisyphus. To think I could be so thick-witted and taking in the thoughts of a lovely lass. And with that, Arya, I do say it's time to set sail for Kugane. You'll be heartened to hear that I spent a spell in the far east in my younger years. I'll be on my way in short order. Meantime, may I ask you a minor favor? Head over to Hingashi ahead of me and engage the local denizens in discourse to see if there's aught you can learn of any anomalies in the Ruby Sea compared to times past. Now you mention it, Ruby spoke to of a fishing village that once had dealings with the Koshin. I believe that village is called sorry? I can make no promises, but maybe as good a place as any to begin your search. If sorry it is, then investigate the village and inquire with its inhabitants, and I'll see you in Kugani when you're through the task. Good to see those two come to an understanding, is it not? In any event, I must return and see if my brother has not done too much damage in my absence. Safe travels, and may your journey to the Far East be a fruitful one. Oh, Jisho. Indeed, there was a time when our village had regular dealings with the Kojin, but there was much less gray in my hair when this was so. Yes, I dare say that some 25 years have passed since then. In those days, Asari was known for the Wadatsumi Festival, a grand event held once each year. Asari fishers and Kojin alike would join together to ensnare the giant plesiosnores that disturb the waters and offer them tribute to the kami of the sea, that calm might return to the oceans. Then the garlands came and the traditional religious observances were abolished. The Wadatsumi Festival, now a thing of the past, our once close bonds of friendship with the Kojin faded over the years. The Kojin particularly enjoyed a certain fish found only in the glittering basin of Yangsha, the Defangshi, if memory serves. It was a regular offering of the delicacy that convinced them to join us in our festivities. But that was a long time ago, and our village has become much more insular since then. These days, there is scarcely anyone in Asari who remembers what a Defangshi looks like, let alone how to snare one. And two up here. I heard in the old days, Asari fishermen would venture out into the open seas in hopes of hooking all manner of marvelous catches. Nowadays, there is little point in venturing far beyond the coastal shallows, where the vast majority of fish reside. Now that you mention it, I recall hearing tales from my father of a festival held in years past, where we would welcome outsiders to Asari in a celebration and the art of fishing. The details I fear I remember a little. I think we hit the one that had like the most information first anyway. When I was just a little girl, my father would invite his Kojin friends to dine with us. They bring all manner of strange-looking fish from the depths. At first, I was hesitant to taste them, but I soon found out they were quite delicious. I was only a small child then. My memories are hazy at best. Perhaps some of the older villagers may be able to tell you more. There's Walalago, finally meeting up with Arena. Ah, the smell of soothing sea breeze with the buxom beauty at my side. This is the life, isn't it, Aria? Oh, but I forget myself. Not anything of our fish in your foray to Izari? A fishing festival that featured the feeding giant plesiosaurs to the deities of the deep, you say? Give Walago a moment to mull that one over. But of course, it's not a sullying of the sea waters responsible for the shooting stars' play, rather the proliferation of a predator who preys upon them. Allow me to explain and elucidate. I have some passing familiarity with this plesiosaur of which the man spoke. More fiend than fish, suffice to say, it feasts on smaller fry with utterly fearsome ferocity. When the festival was in full swing, Asari fishermen and their Kojin friends hunted the hunters, as it were, making smaller swimmers of all stripes, and the Haratsuge, for one, persist and prosper. Now that it's fallen out of fashion, the plesiosaurs rampage and run rampant, devouring the fledgling fish in the sea before they can reach full maturity. All we need to do is restore and revive this tradition, and the situation is as good as solved. From what Arya said, that would require the cooperation of the Kojin. How are we to get them to agree without a single angler in Asari able to catch this Defangshi that they so favor? A trifling task, my lovely lass. If the Asari is so incapable of doing the deed, we need simply snare the Defangshi or two ourselves. Surely this is well within the powers of the poison piscators like ourselves, is it not? Ray and I will go grab young Gov and we'll gather again in Yangsha. Okay, cool. Easy enough. Ready to get fishing, friend? Remember, a couple of these Defangshi are all we need to bring the festival back in fashion and see the Haratsuge flourish. But there's one thing that worries old Balalago. All the fishermen said there wasn't an angler in all of Asari who knew aught of how to catch one of them. Got me thinking, perhaps a simple line and lure won't suffice to snare one of the specimens we seek. So I was listening to the locals who shared some intriguing information in response to my inquiries. The Fangshi are said to reside in the Glittering Basin, but it seems they're ever a cautious and chary type. Few are the fellows who have actually laid eyes on the fish. So I sought out the guidance of a grizzled angler who said that he was hunting for an ichthyosaur near the sunken junk when he espied the shadow of the Fangshi in the distant depths. They're scared of swimming near the surface, and diving deep and trying your hand with a trident like our friend Gov might afford you an advantage. In the event, it seems knowledge of the truth of oceans should at least give you a place to start. And with that, I best be getting off to the Glittering Basin as well. Godspeed. Good luck in reeling in those Fangshi. I look forward to greeting you when you've triumphed in the task. Also known as, you dang well better have spearfishing, it would appear. There we go, some teeming waters. Let's see if it is here. Mina crab. Looks like, okay. Is there anything else? Oh. It's hairless barb. That did not help. Sparing ichthyosaurs near the sunken junk should... yeah, okay, that's supposed to be down here. I'm guessing I have to chain them. Okay, I am going to do a little trick I like to do with locating these teeming waters. Got it? No, that's Noxian Mullet. Should be the same thing, right? That's Grass Fugu. Hairless Barb. Anything else? You're slow. Where's the fast one? Where is... No, I'm going the wrong circle. Wrong way for the circle! So yeah, I like to place waymarks. I feel like I already explained this when I got the spearfishing, but I don't remember if I have that. Hopefully I did say that footage. Waymarks, so I can more easily locate these. I had to double check. Of course, back when this quest came out, spearfishing was very different. Wrong spot, actually. Be over there. Yeah, this is the wrong location. Okay. New plan. Oh, hey. Fish. I think this is the right actual location. I was also confused because those were level 65, so I'm like... Are these the right ones? Anyways, let's try this again. Nothing yet. No, I missed. No! Okay. Yeah, if you miss, you spook them. It makes them more wary. Wait, where am I going? Up there. I know I saw another one. Just double check my thing. Oh, it's gonna make me do it this way, huh? Sunken junk. Okay, this is actually the right location. Don't think this has the shadow information that I'm looking for. Like an actually need. Oh, there's Ixia. Okay, they are fast and big. Got it. So, ichthyosaurs. We need get 7 of these, I believe. So this is what's known as spearfish chains. Where am I going now? Up there. Alright. This is why I place the markers for the record. Because I'm like, where are the things at again? This way, with the waymarks, you just kind of have like a visual representation. Like, so now I know that they are these guys. But the ichthyosaur caught, you sense further movement in the shadows. Now I know they're the fast, large ones. I can just kind of chill here and wait. And do that. I just completely whiff. Yeah, so you sense further movement in the shadows. That tells you, like, you are on a chain. Like, that was not fast. What did it say? The shadows swimming intensify now. Place that. So now I have an ABC waymark set because there's usually in a spearfishing chain it's 3. So ABC just works for that. I got that because it was a large. There's an ichthyosaur. The swimming shadows begin to take shape. Nice. Ugh. I've gotten it there, I think. That was a cherry salmon. Dang it. Come on. You're not fast. The wariness meter is like that bar there. Okay. Need one more, I think, because it, like, we got the beginning to take shape. Oh. Hold up. Sir. Oh no, it's just a little weird. I'm just gonna put a D here. This is just a large area for this one. Shadow of an elusive creature lurks somewhere nearby. So now I can just go ahead and finish going for these. Just kind of get some experience. And now you'll see that there's, like, on our mini-map, there's one that's shiny because there's a swimming shadow that we've gotten from doing a spearfishing chain. So now we have to find our mark. Oh, also you can get... Oh, there's the Fengshi! So we got them all. We're getting a lot of them, actually, because they're just medium slows, I guess. Now I have to get back there. I think it's fastest to go back to the Mayan place. So, Young's just such a weird zone to fly through. It really is. Wow, I went right by Wallalago trying to play with my hotbar. From the gleam in his eye and the grip on his trident, I gather Gov's got a good thing going here. How fare you in your fishing efforts? Draw on the truth of oceans and hunt down those ichthyosaurs near the sunken junk. I got like 10 of them, okay? Fun fish and Arya, yes, these are the Fengshi beyond this dram of a doubt. They made themselves manifest while you were engaging your eyes on the other fish, you say? Curious comportment indeed. Any road, I'm relieved to report that Gov's spearfishing has also proved a spectacular success. With this, we should have enough to reel in the Kojin, figuratively speaking, and entice them to engage with the Asari anew. So let's carry out our catch back to Asari and convince the villagers to let us carry on with the plan that we've contrived. Here's hoping they're just as delighted of this development as we are. If I might trouble you with the trifling task, Arya, I'd ask you to go alone. After all, Isari's only just been freed from the feathers of the Empire, and its residents are surely only still acclimating themselves to the arrivals of outsiders. For my part, I'll stay behind and see if I can't spare myself a few more of the Fengshi for a Kojin friends. I got a bunch of my inventory. Though we have ourselves quite a haul already, the more the merrier, eh? Why don't you wander back to Asari and share our catch with that G-Show chap? You can share it back too and join us in Tawamizi when you're through. I would like nothing more than to ride the Wadatsumi Festival, but the Koshi will never entertain our plea. Not without an offer of the Fengshi, at least. Well, how about this? What? Gosh dang it. Why these are the Fengshi. You went all the way to Yangsha to catch these for us? I have no words, friend. You are far too kind and far more worthy fisherman than I. To think that I would live to see a day when the Sari emerge from the shadow of the Empire to reclaim the glory of our past. I will round up the young ones. Let's begin preparations for the festivities at once. In the meantime, pray deliver the Fengshi to the Koshi in my stead and with my fondest regards. This should go far towards reforging the bonds of friendship that our peoples once shared. Welcome back, friend. Golf says you come bearing a gift from the village of Isari. Dare I hope that it is what I think it may be. Why, I have not seen a hall of the Fengshis like this in I know not how many years. It'd be my honor to join you reviving the festivities of old. There is, however, but one rub. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I am somewhat younger than my appearances might suggest, and my knowledge of the Wadatsumi is limited at best. All I ask for is time. Time to seek the wisdom of my elders and bring my brothers and sisters around to your cause. Worry not. There are many here in Amamizu with fond memories of the olden days. If there is nothing I can do to help, if there's anything I can do to help, you need only speak the word. I will do anything to see the shooting stars, the Haratsuge, and return to the seas as soon as possible. I too think I'm able to see that the festival is a smashing success. First things first, I'll head back to the guild and gather all the knowledge I can glean. Yes, I dare say that right on my desk sits a comprehensive compendium on fishing festivals from Eorzea to the Far East. There's bound to be something illuminating writ within. Then for my part, I'll head back home and see if Anselm has anything enlightening to share. Besides, never forget me found out we were having so much fun without him. Arya, if I head back home with Master Wallalago, you just make you have to go all the way back to Limsa just to come all the way back here. And Gov, you seem to be on good terms with the Kojin. Why not help recruit more of them to the cause? Till we meet again, my friends. Back so briskly, Arya. I'm happy to help your cause, of course, but I dare say you're more than deserving of some rest and relaxation after all your toils and travails. Once you practice your piscatorial skills, will I pry further into the particulars of this Wadatsumi festival? After all, when the time comes, you'll want to be ready to fish, and fish as you've never fished before. Sure, we'll take that one. Farewell, and thanks for the fish. Oh there, Arya. How are you holding up? For my part, I'm happy to say that I've housed in my head a wide wealth of wisdom regarding the Wadatsumi festival. I rate a fish as if the future depended on it, because if it's the future of the Haratsuge we're discussing, I dare say it most definitely does. And with Sissy being sympathetic for once in sanctioning my sabbatical, there's nothing stopping me from journeying east to join in the festivities. Not be pardon me, I do believe there's a certain lovely lass awaiting our arrival in Kugane. We've been waiting for you, friend. Master Wallalago's already gone on ahead to Isari. He wouldn't quite contain his excitement. Just look what we have here. Anselm's joined us as well. Even with his terrible brother wreaking havoc back in the Holy See, he said he couldn't bear to miss it. Truly, the man's ardor for angling knows no bounds. Not that I'm one to talk, of course. Anyhow, we best not keep the guildmaster waiting any longer. Shall we be off to Isari then? I assume we're all accounted for? Excellent. It's time we got the Gaities off the ground, as it were. Obviously, I'll be overseeing the operation. Our prize and praise is a giant plesiosaur, a massive monstrosity of a fish as fierce and ferocious as any you'll find. Go after one without a precise plan of attack, and you're like is not to get swallowed and spit out a skeleton. So it is that the fishermen of Isari have traditionally enlisted the trusty talents of the Kujin in a testament to the power of teamwork. Here's how it will happen. The Kojin will pursue the prey underwater, pressing them ever closer to the water's crest. From there, us landlubbers will lower our lures and hook them, hauling them to shore in one swift swoop. The consummate celebration of cooperation and camaraderie between beachman and beach dweller. This is the true essence of this time-honored tradition. Gove, Ukimono, join the Kojin beneath the billowing waves when I give the signal swim after the plesiosauurs and push them in close proximity to Onokura. My friends and fellow fishers, when the stragglers stray near the surface, lower your lures and reel them in with reckless abandon. A moment, Arya, if you don't mind. Speaking with all sincerity, I'm skeptical even the most accomplished among us will be able to angle in even one of those primordial piscine predators. With the extraordinary exception of you, that is. Yes, if any of us has the aptitude and acumen to face this fearsome foe in the eye and emerge exultant, it's you. Counting on it, Arya, to prove while I'll go prescient and procure a healthy haul of these plesiosaurs. This will test your talents as a fisher as nothing before. Step forth, and may the seas smile on you. They say, aim for the waters of Onokura. It's all the way back there, which I guess makes sense. I'm being lazy. I don't want to fly. Is this the correct location? Yes, mark for the quest detected. Cool. Now the fish. For 5 of them. Haha, triple exclamation mark. I looked it up while I was waiting for it to actually bite, and it should be the only triple exclamation mark I have available right now. Also, double hook doesn't work. Oh my gosh, finally the 5th one! Finally had the service slap the collectible away, even though it was a decent experience. I've leveled up again because of it. Man. Back to sorry. The survival of the shooting stars depends on your success, friend. How fare you in the most formidable fishing challenge you faced? Fabulous fishing, friend, but good gosh, the tales had it true. These things are more fiend than fish, but you have felled 5 of them, nonetheless. Oh, thank goodness, it's a forced daytime cutscene. Handy. Now that there's a hearty haul if ever I've eyed one, I dare say there's no doubt the deities of the deep are duly delighted with our deeds. Swimming through the seas with reckless abandon. I've not had so much fun at the festival in years. I have but one question. When is the next one? That's the spirit, my shelled friend. By repeating the ritual on a regular basis, protect the seas from over-proliferation of predators and see that smaller fish like the Haratsuge have a halcyon habitat to call home. Oh gosh, the textures! I can't! Ah, the textures! Well, it pleases me as much as any that the festival was a success and peace returns to the seas. I fear I see no sign of the shooting stars. Forgive me, Master Wallalago, but I would face the truth with my own eyes. I see Sahagin lads as serious as ever. Why don't you dive into the depths with him, Arya? Regardless of what he sees, I reckon he'd appreciate if you accompanied him. It is no use. Even down the depths, they are nowhere to be seen. Were we too late? Were all our best efforts for naught? Behold, Arya, they have come! The shooting stars! They're still young, yes, only hatchlings, but look at the sheer numbers of them. Yes, they will grow large and strong, and soon the seas will shine bright once more. The shooting stars have survived in a numbers beyond my wildest dreams, and with the ranks of their predators cold, they are free to make the journey across the Ruby Sea. And yet in time, the plesiosauurs will return. The shooting stars will once again be threatened with extinction. There must be something we can do. Fear not, my fretful fellow. We need only see to it that the festival is held frequently enough to keep the population of plesiosaurs carefully in check, as it was before the Garleans barged in and bungled everything up. I, for one, would be honored to partake in festivities at any time, both to reaffirm the bonds we share with our Asari friends and to ensure the survival of the Harutsuge, whose beauty I have now witnessed with my own eyes. You have my thanks, friend. You need only say the word. I and the fellow Sahagin will swim here to join you. I may not possess your spear-fishing skills, Arya, but my passion to protect the shooting stars is second to none. Do everything in my power to see that the legacy you have helped to create lives on. Man and beastman united by an underlying devotion to the denizens of the depths. Is that water in my honor my welling up? In any event, we've effected a change on the oceans today. A change that will, in turn, come to have consequences for generations to come. But that's a story best not told sober. What say we send for some spirits and sample some of this sashimi that the East is famed for? I fear you're going to be facing more immediate consequences for your actions today, Wallalago. Sisyphus, I'm well aware how you worry for me so, but you didn't have to sail straight across. Why that frightful frown and that fetching face of yours? Do you not remember my words the other day, Wallalago? I thought I made myself quite clear. I said that if you want to take a leave of absence to join your friends on some adventures, all you have to do is say the word. I hear nothing from you for days. When with your usual purge at Fisherman's Bottom, do you have any idea how worried I was for you? Pardon? I could swear that or could it be that I was so absorbed with anticipation that I was remiss in apprising you of my intent to embark on this adventure? But is this my sweet? Wasn't it you who always told me never to leave neglect one in need? Till next time, Arya. Get back here, you! I say, you good for nothing. And testing new waters as a fisher, you have learned enhance GP regeneration. And no, hey, there's gonna be another quest of that blah 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 because it goes different starting with Shadowbringers. So that is gonna wrap up the Stormblood fishing quest. Still have a bunch of minor and botanists and crafters. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, get notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!